carefully laid some pants that do fit over these new pants. You can see how much too long they are. In order to fit them, I have to pull them way up over my belly. Almost like a jumpy suit. So what I'm going to do, I need to get to my pins here. I got there. Is that, yeah. I'm going to use a straight edge, a hard straight edge on this ruler. I'm going to just flip it like that. That's going to give me about a 2-inch hem. I don't know if that's too much, but I'm going to do it that way. Because these are stretchy pants. They're very stretchy. And I just don't want to take a chance. I just want to mark a line where I want to trim them off. And then I'll turn them up after that. I'm so proud of my grandson. He got, this is his, well, of course, if he's graduating, this was his senior year. And he got good grades all the way through. He's already decided on a career. I don't know if it's one I would have picked, but hey, you know. That's because I'm old-fashioned. And he's young, he's got his life ahead of him. And if he decides to, he wants to train as a truck driver, which doesn't mean that he'll take long over the road, but he may. But having a CDL is not a bad thing. There's been times that we wish Joe kind of would have had one. Wish I could be sure that's a straighter line, but it will fold up into a hem, so if there's any jaggedness, I can attack that then. Let's see, I'd like to do this one layer, well, one pant leg at a time if I haven't. I was a little afraid these these scissors haven't been used on fabric in a long time. I'm not in a oh, I'm in. No, I'm fine. I was very careful laying this out, and when I laid the other on top of it, I was real careful how I did that, because if I stretched this at all while I laid that on top of it, then I was going to have a problem again. So, okay, now we've got one done. So I'm just going to go right along that to cut the other leg, just to show you how stretchy this fabric is. Just look at that. That's why I want to be extra careful, because when they made this hem, that's why I'm not doing it on a machine, because, well, for one thing, yeah, they did a serge on the end of it before they turned it up, which was probably I'm sure it was a good thing to do on a knit, because it would keep it from, but they used an elastic thread or a stretchable thread, and I don't have any of that. My hem's going to be deeper, obviously. But there's two. You gotta be careful not to stretch the fabric while I'm working with it too. I should have thought that would have bought them, but they're so pretty. I do have a sewing machine. I know how to use a sewing machine, but I'm not going to use this without the right kind of thread. I'm just not. Okay, I'll be doing that on both sides, on both legs, and then I will turn it up twice to have the inside and out. Here, I'll be turning it up like this. And then I will do a hidden stitch. I'll show you what I'm doing then. I will iron it very well. I'm not going to iron it. I'm going to press it with a towel over it, and a towel on, because I do not want to burn the fabric. But I do want to get a nice crease there as much as I can. It's hard to crease this kind of stretchiness, but get some kind of crease. I guess you call this a rolled hem. I don't know. That's what we always called it. I don't know, except maybe for denim. I don't know who wouldn't use one, even in a factory. Things like canvas and denim, I think you can get by with that. You know, with just without rolling it. I have not had an ironing board for a while, and I wouldn't know where it went. It's probably been ditched long ago. I just spread a towel out on a table to keep it from hurting the table or the surface. And then I spread out my project. You can see I've got it all tucked and pinned. I'm ready to press this, and just to show you how I do that, like I said before, I'm protecting my table with a towel. You don't absolutely have to have an ironing board. You need an iron. That you do need. I'm going to cover it with this rag here because I don't want to scorch the fabric. And well, I'm not going to use steam. Okay. And I want to press it. A little longer. With it being so stretchy, I don't think I can expect that it's going to be as crisp a fold as it would be on cotton or something like that. Okay. I don't always go out and buy thread every time I buy something that I need to work on, because if it's not a big job, chances are I've got something in my kit that's going to be close or match it. That's about as good a match as you're going to get. Even if it is just enough to be on a bobbin. It's plenty enough to do this project. So, everybody has to do their own thing. If you're wanting to make sure you get a perfect match, fine, go out and buy it. But thread gets a lot of waste as it is. Okay. Yikes. You still there? Hello? Okay, this is the threader. I ended up having to use one. You can see that fine little metal thing that sticks out there. That little loop. It's tougher than thread. Or more stiff than thread. That's what, it's stiffer than thread, so I can get it through the eye of the needle, even with all my shaking. And then since it's bigger, I can get the thread through that and then pull the whole thing through, and I've threaded my needle. Now I am doubling up. I do a double. I double the length of the thread and knot it together, because there is nothing more frustrating to me, and I know this is probably going to drive somebody nuts, but there's nothing more frustrating to me than unthreading a needle when I have so much trouble threading it in the first place. So when you're working along and you don't realize how close you are to the thread coming out of your needle and you unthread it, that is absolutely irritating. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to keep this background here in. Oh, I'm not getting it up in the. I zoomed in too far, didn't I? Okay. So I just catch a couple, a little bit of this fabric there, and it's the same color thread, so it's not going to really, it's still going to be a hidden stitch. Then I go inside my, in between the layers here of what I have turned up for the hem. Now, yeah, this is the one thing with a double, when you double your thread, it'll get those, and you have to watch for them and just pull them out as you go, so you don't end up with a big loop there hanging somewhere. Or get it. And once, but you'll get used to it, doing it. If you decide to try it, you'll get used to doing it, and it'll go a little faster. I'm just getting, I've always had a shake, and as I get more tired, as I get older, if I'm more nervous, it's just more distinct and makes it a little harder. And believe me, people have been asking me about it since I was in elementary school. No, I'm not developing Parkinson's. It's not that, not yet. I have not been diagnosed. Doctors and nurses have all asked, not about Parkinson's, but about the tremors. And it's a family thing. We just have it. So, and you guys have been watching me, you know that, because you've seen it enough. But that doesn't mean I can't do things. It's just some things are a little more difficult, that's all. But I admire someone who's got like maybe they've got 2 or 3 fingers on on one hand or something, due to maybe an accident, and over time they've taught themselves how to do all sorts of things, that, embroidery. When I think about how hard it is for me just with my whole hand, all my fingers. I used to do embroidery, but I haven't done any lately. But as a result, I really don't have, except when I'm doing stuff like this or on the computer, I don't need my glasses that bad. Or I'm even able to see better without them. But I forget. Anyway, this has been fun. But I'm going to have me a really nice pair of pants to wear to my grandson's graduation, and for whatever else I decide to wear them for. The process, and you can see here, it's still got that give to it. If I had done a regular stitch on a machine without any give to the thread, it would not have that give to it at all. It would just, and it would pucker. It would make it look puckered. It wouldn't look right. So that's why I'm doing it this way, and I'm going to let it go for now, because I want to talk to you. I don't do how-tos very often. In fact, I just don't. But I had to do this. I needed to do this, and I knew I needed to do a hidden stitch, hem stitch. So I thought, I'm just going to show them, if I can remember how, I'm just going to show them how I do it. So that's what I did. And you can see the reason why. Now look here on the outside. You can barely tell anything about where I've stitched that. That's on the outside. You can tell where it's got the extra thickness, but seeing where exactly the stitches are, they're there, you can see, but not really unless you're looking for them. That right there, that's a pin. That's still got a pin in there. But, unless you're really looking for the stitches, it's hard to find them. So that's why they call it a hidden stitch. And that's that. I love you. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm out of time, so have a great day. Love you. Good night.